The tracks are easy to spot. Vermlings have never been known for their subtlety. You follow the scratching and indicators of a body being dragged until you find yourself approaching the walls of Gloomhaven. The sun is very low, but something isn't right. That isn't a shadow cast across a lower section of the wall. It's a hole. The vermlings have made a nest for themselves by burrowing into the wall itself. How industrious. You crouch low and try to sneak closer, but they must have guards watching the entrance. There's a shrill shrieking, and then a number of vermlings jumped from the dark, brandishing their dull, poorly made weapons. No choice now but to defend yourself. Luckily, you've managed to get your second wind, but you'll definitely need a nice long bath after this ordeal. Alright, again, I'm Casey from Average Meeple. Thank you for joining me for episode 2, scenario 2, A Hole in the Wall of Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, my campaign playthrough here. Hopefully you've already seen episode 1. If not, just keep in mind I'm playing through this solo, so you'll see 2 characters that are both controlled by me. They are the Demolitionist Randy and the Red Guard Marsh. Where we have left off, we had just fought off a vermling ambush, and we're on our way back to Gloomhaven after being hired by Sandy. She's a blacksmith's wife, to kind of look into her husband's disappearance. A whole bunch of townsfolk had gone missing recently, and we think that these vermlings, they might have something to do with it. So this is scenario 2, and this is kind of almost like a tutorial to the rest of the game. We're playing with some limited rules right now. There are a few things that I'll go over that will be new to this scenario that we didn't see in the last one. And then we'll jump into it. A couple of the new things, you're going to see money, treasure, and we're going to interact with those things by looting it. So you get to see that. And we'll also be experiencing traps, which you can already see on the board here. Some doors, which I've marked with an exclamation point. Sorry. And monster ability cards right here. So last time the monsters were really predictable. We knew exactly what they were going to do. This time, we're not. It's going to add some more dynamic gameplay to this, and we're going to have to adapt and adjust to what we see and what's going on. All right. We've also made one more adjustment. We've replaced 2 of our cards here, so with these B cards, so we had a whole deck of A cards. We're still limited to just this deck, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards total for each character. But we have introduced these B cards, but you can see there's throwaway cards now, some AoE, we've got some pull and push cards, some loot like I talked about, so a couple new things here, and we've also opened up where we can use these standard abilities. So on the top half it's just a melee attack of 2, and on the bottom half it's a basic movement of 2. So just a couple more options, kind of expanding that as we get into it. But yeah, most of this video is going to be just my gameplay. Again, it's just going to be what I'm thinking, what my thoughts are on when I make these moves. Like last time, I may not always get the rules right. There are some interesting interactions with traps. If you see that I'm doing it wrong, that's cool. Please call me out on that in the comments and let me know, and we will try to improve it for the next time. But with that, let's jump into it. Some special rules for this section here. We need to make sure, like I said before, we've swapped out those 2 cards with their B variants, which we've already done and I've already explained. So now I've already set up the board. You'll see there's a door here. There are monsters in here, but I'm not supposed to set them up until after we've opened this door. Not cleared this, but opened this door. And that brings me to our goal. So our goal for this scenario, again, is just to kill all the enemies. All right, so I'm going to place my 2 character pawns here. I'm going to put the Demolitionist Randy. So again, melee fighter. I want to kind of double attack, but I want Marsh, so the Red Guard, kind of the tank, to kind of stand in the middle here. And I know that everything's hopefully going to flow in here. I don't know, right? It's not as predictable as last game, but we'll see. So same thing. I'm going to choose 2 cards for each player, and then we're going to carry out the turn, except at this time, I'm going to draw a card for the Vermling Raiders as well, so that we can see what actions they're going to take and see how that interacts. So it's going to be pretty neat. Okay, so looking at my stuff here, all I want to do is I want to move up here, and I want to move up pretty early because I want everything to attack my Red Guard. So I just need a movement of 2, which I can use any card here that has a standard movement ability. Now what I can also do is move through them and kind of try to land on this money tile here so that I can loot it. So maybe that's what I'll do. But I do want to move early. I do have a movement of 4, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away. So 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away. So I do have a move 4 card. That's good. Then I want kind of the things around me to take damage, but I need to go pretty early on. So I have a move of 14. But I have a 38. That's all adjacent enemies. I'm only going to have one adjacent to me at that time. This is an attack to anything within 2 hexes, but it's a 90, so that's really late in the order. I really don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with this really quick 14 move here. And that, so I know what he's doing. He's going to move really quick, so my red guard's going to move really quick. Marsh is going to move really quick. Try to loot that tile, bring everything into him, and then attack. Actually, that's a melee attack. That's not going to help me at all. Huh. Well, we'll see how it turns out. Okay, well, let's pick for Randy, the Demolitionist. Really, I'm just going to go punch things in the face. This is a double attack on the top. That's really awesome with a push of 2. So I can see already a combo here. Ooh, and I didn't set up one of the gold pieces here. I missed it. So I didn't see this. So I'm going to do a standard move, and I really just want to punch that thing in the face and then shove it. So that sounds good to me. So let's do that. Let's try to move quickly again. And I'm just going to use a standard move of 2, but I am going to make that quick, so it's going to be a 19 movement. So my goal is to move before them so that they don't get a chance to kind of fuddle with my plans here before I hatch them. Okay, so I've established this. So Marsh, the red guard's going into 14. Then the Demolitionist is 19. I haven't set these up yet because now I have to pull for the Vermling Raiders. And they're going with a Spiked Pit. So they're going at initiative 20, which is great because it's after both my characters. So let's do this. So I've got the red guard going first, Demolitionist going second, and the Vermling Raiders going third. They are going to attack me at a +0 at a range of 4. So it's a ranged attack without movement. So we only follow what's on the card. So they're only going to move, or they're not going to move, which means if I'm next to them, they're going to pull at disadvantage. So that's something to keep in mind now. And then they're going to create a damage trap on an empty hex closest to an enemy. Okay, so a lot of damage traps are going to come out here. I actually don't even know if I have enough damage traps. But we'll leave that for when we get to it. So let's go here. So I've got the red guard going first, as indicated by our initiative here. I have a movement, and then I have an attack, a melee attack. Let's see, do I want to change that up here? I don't think so. I think I'm still just going to move here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Land on that. And then I'm just going to forego my attack, which would be a melee attack of 3. So almost a wasted move, but I did position myself where I wanted to be. Which, that's really the goal here, is I want things to come into the red guard and attack it. Which right now it's the focus of all 3 things, if all things were to stop right now. So that's good. He's done. Marsh is done, so we're on to the Demolitionist. All right, so I have a ranged attack or a movement of 4. Like I said before, I'm just using... Oh, what is this? I picked the wrong card here. Whoops. This was supposed to be this card. Didn't matter because I'm still using this card as my initiative. This was supposed to be this double attack card. I don't know why I had this card. But we're going to use this as the default move, which I haven't seen this yet, but I'm just going to use this regular move 2 here, which there's these small things. You can always just substitute. I'm just going to move 1, which is going to land me on this loot tile. So actually at the end of his turn, he loots the thing that he ended on. All right, so that's a standard move there. And then I'm going to attack 2. This is melee attack here, so I'm going to target number 1 with a 2. So let's pull from my deck here. So 2 plus 0, so that's hitting that one for 2. So we're going to get 2 damage tokens here and place them on number 1 to mark that it's taken 2 damage. And it has 5 health, so it has 3 health left. And then this is followed by a second attack, so an attack of 1. All right, so let's pull for that. An attack of 1 plus 1, so that's 2 more damage. All right, so 2 more damage, so it has 1 health left. Then I push it to and muddle if this attack targets the same enemy as the previous attack ability. I did that. I attacked the same target twice in a row, so I get to push it, which means it has to enter. I can push it up to 2 hexes as long as they are in increasing distance from me. So the next one has to be at least 2 away from me, which gives me 3 hexes here that I can move it to. I can move it here, here, or here, because those all increase its distance to me by 1. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to push in a straight line into this trap. Okay? So what that does is it triggers this trap, which does 3 damage to it. There's no blocking this. There's no pulling anything. This is just suffering damage. So it just takes this 3 damage immediately, which you can see puts it over its 5 threshold here and kills it, and it's dead. Now, what we do is anytime an enemy dies, it drops a coin. So now I can go loot that coin at some point and gain that for myself. So I'm just going to kind of set this trap off to the side. I think I'm going to need it here at the end of this move, so I want to have it available. All right, so that's both my player turns. Now we're on to the enemy turn. So we've got Spiked Pit. So first thing, they're in their order. So this is number 2 and this is number 4. They're going to target somebody at a range of 4. They're both going to target the closest enemy, which is my red guard, which is what I wanted. So a range of 4, attack plus 0. So they have an attack value of 2. So this will be an attack of 2, minus 1 from this one. So my red guard takes 1 damage. So it's down to 13 health. Okay. And then number 4 here is going to attack for 2 plus 0, so 2 more damage. All right, so down to 7 health here on my red guard. No big deal. Whoops, and I collected this loot here. And then gold, it doesn't go into your inventory immediately, just so we're on the same page. You'll kind of collect all that at the end of the scenario, or whether you win or lose. So just know that. You'll keep your gold. Okay, so he's taking the damage. Then what was going to happen is they were going to lay these 3 damage traps. So let's do that. Here's the hex closest to an enemy. Okay. All right, and an empty hex closest to the enemy. So that would be this one, right? I believe. This may be wrong. I may not lay a trap here because technically this would be the hex, but this is the empty hex closest to the enemy. That's adjacent. So I'm going to lay it there. It kind of blocks this one. So you can see now, it doesn't have an option to move unless it moves through these, which is very, it's a unique interaction here. Okay, and that's the end of the round. So we're on to the next round here. So again, I don't want to move through these traps. I will need to open this door to complete the scenario. But you can see there's a treasure chest and some gold in here. Really, my characters don't know that yet. We just know that there's a door and a wall here, and we just kind of ran into this den here, so you can see there's a door. Once we open that door, I'm going to spawn some more monsters. So I don't really want to do that yet. I want to finish off what we've got here, or at least get it pretty close. I want this one to be forced to walk through one of these 3 damage traps. So I'm going to see if I can do some range damage here. There is some gold to collect here. Maybe I'll go grab that. I have a loot 1. All right. Ooh, this one has a pull. This is great. So I'm going to try this one. I may not get this off in time. And then I have a melee attack, so we're going to follow this up. So this might work out really well. I'm going to have initiative 38. So what I'm going to try to do is attack this one, yank it into this trap, and if it's still alive, I'm going to punch it in the face with my bottom action. Okay? So this is a little bit different. I've got to move at least 2, which is fine because the default movement is 2. This one has a push of 1. That's not going to be useful because you can see this doesn't actually move it. If I moved up to here, let's say, and then pushed it, I'd actually have to push it to this, this spot because this doesn't actually increase its distance away from me. So that push doesn't really do anything. Obstacle. I guess I could destroy the traps. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to move, default move 2, and I'm just going to... Actually, you know what? I'm going to try to position myself over here. So I'm going to get a big move, 1, 2, 3, and stand near the door, and just be ready. And that's what I'm going to do. And there's an obstacle here, which I can use actually to strengthen myself. on a following move. So let's just do this. I'm going to go pretty late in the movement order here. I'm going to go with 88. And this character's not really going to do much this turn. He's just going to more be a focus. All right. So we've got 38, 88, and 70. Okay, so 38 is going to go first. That's a red guard. Then the Raiders are going to go at 70. Then the Demolitionist at 88. What the Vermlings are going to do this turn is they're going to move and attack. So like I said, they're going to move. They will move through these traps because it has no other valid way to get around them. It has to move through them. So I know that this one's going to take damage. Unfortunately, my red guard's going to move first, but that's okay. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to attack 3 at a range of 2. So Marsh is going to attack this Vermling number 2, at a range of 2. So 2. Oh, good, -1. I pulled great with him every time. So that's one, I'm sorry, that was an attack of 3, range of 2. So 3 -1 is 2, so this takes 2 damage, doesn't have any shield. Okay. Now here's where things get cool. That's number 2. Then I get to pull it 1. So I just have to move it into a hex closer to me. Now I can pull it right into this trap, and it takes 3 more damage, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to yank it into this trap, trigger that trap. Okay. And that immediately suffers 3 more damage, which takes it to 5 damage, and it's dead. Okay, so now I've got gold here as well. And I'm pretty well positioned. Unfortunately, that's also my loot card. So I may try to get that back here immediately. We'll see. Then I had this bottom attack, which I can use now as a movement, which maybe I'll do that instead. Maybe I'll just move right here and just collect this gold, instead of short resting early and getting that gold back. So that's done. So our red guard's gone. Now we've got the Vermling Raider going next. Now remember, if they're going to move, this is the only one available. It's going to target my red guard. So it's going to take it would avoid these traps unless it just can't. And you can see it can't. So it will move through. It'll move here, immediately suffer this 3 damage. That's number 4. Suffers 3 damage. The trap gets removed. All right, but it continues its movement. So it has a movement of 1. So that's all the further it would move. Okay, now it's done. It would attack me, and this is a melee attack because this enemy doesn't have range. At least it's not described on here. And then it would have disarmed me, but it's not close enough to me, so I'm safe. All right, Vermling Raider is done. Now we are on to Randy here, the Demolitionist. Like I said, I'm just going to move Randy 3 spaces. Get him close to the door. Really would want him to open the door on the next turn. I would have a regular attack here of 3, but I'm just going to forego that and move on. I would have performed the melee attack. Regular melee attack is what I chose, but there's nothing to attack, so we just kind of bypass that one. So done. All right, that's the end of that round. Now we're on to round 3, and we're down to our last 2 cards. Still have this whole other room here. Remember, there's this treasure I know I want to get to. So really, I want to open this door quickly so that I can start moving things forward. All right. So I've got really no options here. It doesn't matter really when I move. Let's move it to 42 with him. Try to go a little bit later with Randy here. And do I want this one to move into me? Probably, because really all I have is a huge move. Huge move, but it's a throwaway, so I'll probably use this as my top action. And then use this as a regular move 2 action. So we'll go at 41. I don't think I'll be moving first, but we'll see. Yep, and they're going to go 30. So we're going to get the Raiders first here. Then we've got the Red Guard, and then the Demolitionist last. All right, and you can see there's a new symbol here. I don't know if you've seen this symbol before, but this is a reshuffle. So after this happens, we're going to reshuffle this deck because this is their signature ability usually, or a really powerful ability that they have. You see it's going to move, and that's going to heal itself for 3, which it has taken only 3 damage. So it is going to move up to +1. So it's going to it still picks a target. So it's going to target the Red Guard, move to it. Now, if it could move an additional 1, it would, because it had a movement of 2 this turn, but it doesn't. Then it's going to heal itself for 3, so it's down to 0 damage taken. And then this will get reshuffled. So I'm going to turn this sideways on here so that I can remember, okay, I need to reshuffle that. Okay, So they're done. No damage done, so pretty easy round here. Then we've got a couple options. So what I want to do here is attack this for 2. So I will attack it. So for 2 plus 1, so 3 damage. So healed it. Now it takes it back. So that's number 4. Took 3 more damage. And then it gets disarmed. Disarmed. Here we go. So that's disarmed. What that means is it won't be able to attack until the end of its next turn. It won't be able to perform an attack action. Still does everything else, still behaves like it would attack, but it just doesn't actually get to follow through with the attack. Okay, so that's done. Then I have this heal 2 at a range of 2. This is any character within a range of 2. So I could heal the Demolitionist, but it hasn't taken any damage. So I'll heal myself. Now, it doesn't specify who to heal on the card itself. So heal 2 at a range of 2. So I can heal myself with this card. So I'm going to heal for 2 here. So I'm at 9. All right. Red guard's done. We're on to the Demolitionist. Again, I want to move into here and I want to start getting things going. Okay, so I can move 1. I can actually move 2, but we're going to see what happens here. So I'm going to spawn this. Then we've got 1 and 2. Nothing spawns here. We do get 1 enemy here, 1 regular, and 1 regular. All right, so what would happen here is if we haven't drawn for them, we would now draw for them. And actually, let's figure out, I actually don't remember if these get to go. So once the second room is revealed, if a monster ability card has not been flipped, that round they will immediately flip one. Either way, the revealed monster's initiatives are lower than the revealing character. They act immediately after the character's turn. Okay, so these will go immediately after I'm done, because their initiative was lower. Or else we would just kind of wait until their turn would come up. All right, so that was 1. Now I can destroy 1 adjacent obstacle. So I have 2 obstacles here. I have a trap and I have this rubble pile. So I'm actually going to destroy the rubble pile because I kind of want to block with that. And I'm only going to move 1. So that's it. So just the 1 movement. Then I get to strengthen myself. So remember, I'm strengthened. I get to pull at advantage, which means an extra, and that's in my condition, so an extra card and pick the better of the 2 on my attack modifier when I pull. And then I have an attack of 3. There's nothing melee range for me to attack, so I won't attack. Okay. So now these 2 get to finish their turns. So they would move and heal, but none of them have taken damage. So this is number 2. This is number 1. So this one will go first. You can see this is an obstacle here, so it's going to go around here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and they would heal, but they don't have anything to heal. So they're done. So what we'll do now is we will take those cards that we've used. We're going to kind of shuffle this up here a little bit. There aren't many cards. I think there's 8. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have 8 cards, and I think every deck is like that. There's only 8 cards. So somewhat predictable. You kind of know what's going to happen, but you're not positive. All right, we shuffle that. Now we can pull any of those. Now, interesting here. Do I short rest or long rest? I think I'm going to short rest with both characters because I just want to kind of finish this off. I want to get this going and get all the way through this. All right. So short rest, sorry, shouldn't have looked. Short rest means I'm going to lose one of these at random. Let's lose this one at random. That's my shield spikes. It's my suffer and heal. No big deal. I don't think I'm going to need healing that much. And short rest with the Demolitionist. Now remember, short resting happens like that turn, and I won't heal, and I don't really get any other benefits, but I do get to go on the very next turn instead of wasting one. So we'll do the opposite side on this one. So that's Piston Punch. That's one of my... it's an okay card. It's fine to lose. We'll put that one in the lost pile here. All right, so what I want to do is just finish these off, and I have this treasure tile. I really want to get to that treasure tile before I end this scenario. So let's see if I can start to move around here to let the red guard in, so I'm actually going to pick this Randy's cards here first. Now remember, I'm strengthened, so I do want to punch this guy and move. Okay, so let's do this. That's an 88. And this is a double attack. Ooh, that's just going too late, I think, in the turn order. All right, let's do this one instead. So we're gonna go 20 and 66. So I'm gonna use 20. 20 is gonna be my initiative for Randy. Really what I want to do is wrap around here and punch this guy, like similar in the last one, into that trap. Try to finish him off in just one take here. Then I really want to attack and move. Let this guy chase me. He's not going to do any damage, so I want a big movement here. I have a move of 4. It's later in the round. That's fine. And then I'll use this ranged attack here, just in case. So I'm going to go 87. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to take any damage because I'm this character here is disarmed, unless there's a suffer or something. But I think I'll be all right. Now they could heal again, which would kind of be a knock, but we'll see. So they got parry. They're going to move and attack and then disarm. Ooh, that's rough. And they're going to go at 70. So we got 87, 20, and then 70. So 20 is going to go first. That's a Demolitionist. Then the Vermling Raiders. And lastly, the Red Guard. All right, so let's execute here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the Demolitionist here, move them 2 spaces, kind of lining up that Haymaker, right? Now I could destroy an object and get that strength and self again. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use this as a basic move too. All right. Whoa. Whoops. I have no idea what I did there. But I am going to attack for 2. So I'm attacking this one for 2. Ooh, pulled my ×2 multiplier. So instead of taking 2 damage, it takes 4 damage. That's a lot of damage. So 4 damage to number 2. Big hit. And then you can see that same reshuffle thing is here. So at the end of my turn, at the end of this round, I will reshuffle all of my cards, all of my attack modifier cards, because I drew the ×2. Then I'm going to attack it for 1. So it's already at 4 damage. All right, as long as I don't draw a negative or a null. I did draw a negative. Not a big deal. So it doesn't take any damage, but then I get to shove it or push it too and muddle it if it's the same enemy. And it is. So again, I'm going to push it into this trap. You've seen this before. So it's going to suffer 3 damage, and it's going to be taken off the map. It was here. So it's now dead, and is replaced by a gold. There we go. And that's that turn. All right, so that's the Demolitionist. Now we're on to the Raiders. All right, we got these Raiders here. This one is disarmed, and it's number 4. So this one's actually going to go first because it's number 1. It was here. It's going to move +1 or +0, so move just 1 space. Attack, can't attack. This one doesn't need to move, so it doesn't. Will just attack, but it can't. Remember, it's disarmed till the end of this turn. So it doesn't perform the attack action, which means it doesn't disarm me because that attack never happened. Had it attacked me, even if it doesn't do damage, I would still get disarmed, which would have kind of been a bummer, but since it didn't attack, no big deal. All right. So now I get to move 4, and I do have a ranged 2 attack. So actually, if I only use 3 of this movement, I can get here and still attack this character, number 4. Which one's dead? 2 is dead, sorry. So number 4, and maybe finish it off. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to move 3 spaces of the 4 that I would have available. That card's done. Remember, I don't get to continue movement afterward. You use as much movement as you can. You do a bottom action to its entirety, and then you do the top action. So this is an attack of 3, range of 2, and a pull of 1. So here's the range. Attack of 3, +0 is 3. It was already at 3 damage, so that's 6. It's dead. It was here. Gets replaced by a gold token. And that's the end of my turn. So I only have 1 enemy left. Okay. So things are looking good for me. I'm not in jeopardy, I think, of losing this scenario. I think this is pretty winnable now. There's 2 of me. Really have 1 point of damage taken. Yeah. And between the 2, really what I want to do here is kind of delay. And what I want to get is this treasure. That's what I want to do. This is my new goal from my personal goal, is get that treasure. So foregoing everything else, I'm just going to run here, grab that treasure. Now, conveniently, I have a move 6 for my red guard. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. Even if this is in the way, I can move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and get around it, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play this 6 movement card. It is a throwaway card, so I do lose this once I play it, but no big deal. And then maybe I'll play this immobilize. Ooh, I can go early, hit this, immobilize it, and maybe kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. So I'm going to go 14 here. I think this is going to be a pretty good move. I'm going to move real far, and then I'm going to hit this pretty hard. I'm just going to use him as a backup here. So a move 4 is the best I have. Ooh, I do have this big AoE attack. So that's a move 4. 1, 2, 3. So I shouldn't need an AoE attack. But I will go at 19. I'm going to hit this thing hard early and just end this scenario. Just real quick. So we'll see. All right, and then we draw for the Vermling Raiders. They have a ranged attack. They're not going to move, right? There's no movement on this card. They would just attack. So it is 14, 19, and 20. So Marsh is going first. Demolitionist is going second. And the Raider is going third. Now I could get greedy here and try to take as much gold as I can, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So the Red Guard's going to go first. Like I said, I'm going to use this huge movement of 6 card here. The Desert Knight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That give me there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then attack 3. Immobilize. So I'm going to attack for 3. 4. And this is immobilized, so it cannot move. It wouldn't have moved anyway, so this is kind of pointless, but that's all right. Then I get this treasure, as I loot anything I'm standing on. So this is treasure number 14. So I immediately gain this treasure. So I take this away, and what I'm going to do is reference the guide here, the glossary, and I think it's in the back, usually, where the treasure is. Yep. Here's a treasure. I gain 3 money tokens. So not 3 gold. I gain 3 money tokens. 1, 2, and 3 to the Red Guard. He's going to be rich, which is pretty cool. So tons of money on the Red Guard. Awesome. This has 1 health left. Did I even put my attack here? So 3, 4. I did not. So, whoops. Did hit it for 4, so let's mark that here. That's number 1. It's taken 4 damage, not 6 damage, but 4 damage. All right. So 4 damage, and then we've got the Demolitionist up next. Let's just finish this guy off. So we can move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to loot this money token. Well, technically it happens at the end, but that's all right. Loot this money token, and then we're going to attack it for 3. Come on. Oh, okay. So one thing here I didn't do yet is I didn't reshuffle this. Really important. This whole thing needs to be reshuffled before I draw another one. I could draw ×2. I could draw my null, but I just need a whole reset on my attack modifier deck here. So bear with me 1 second while I reshuffle. And then we're going to punch this, and maybe that'll hopefully be the end of the scenario. Unless I draw the null. So the only thing here that saves it is a null. It's a -2. Came real close. That's an attack of 3. It had 4 damage. It only has 5 health, so I hit it for 1, which is 5. It's dead. That is it. Money token. End of scenario. So my goal was to kill all the enemies. I killed all the enemies. That happened. So let's see what's next. With the foul nest cleansed of those wretched creatures, you take your time searching every nook. Surely the city guard will want to know about this, and can't be safe to have vermlings tunneling through their walls. It's hard enough to fend them off as it is. Eventually, you do manage to find an unexpectedly large amount of gold under some rotten wooden boards. Sifting through the treasure, you also find a strange note in crude scratching, It details some business arrangement between the Vermlings and someone by the name of Roland. Alright, so this Roland guy must be a pretty big scumbag to even be communicating with these Vermlings, who seem just like glorified two-legged rats. Apparently, in exchange for supplying fresh corpses, Roland, the scumbag, would pay the Vermlings. Why they need gold, I don't know. And judging by the amount of gold here, the Vermlings managed to kill quite a few people before you put an end to it. So it sounds like Roland was just supplying them with gold for killing these people. What a great person. It's the best lead you have, and it's time to ferret out this Roland character. After resting at the Sleeping Lion, of course. Of course, we need to rest. Alright, we also get some rewards at the end of this. We get 25 gold each. The item shop opens. We get access to items 1 through 13. And then we get a new location, which is the Black Ship number 3. So scenario number 3 is now open to us, and it is located on our map, D5. I haven't shown you the map yet, so good time to do that. This is the map, and it's labeled 1 through 9 on the top, A through F on the bottom. Like I said, I've already had these stickers on here. So this was D5, D5, so number 3 sticker here. Like I said, I already put it here, and it is called the Black Ship. So we will be entering the Black Ship. Looks like it was located in the docks of Gloomhaven. So we're going to board this ship and see what's going on, chasing this Roland. So thanks for watching this episode. Stick around for the next episode where we go attack this ship and figure out what this Roland guy's all about. All right. Well, again, thanks for watching, and keep gaming.